can't wait to dive in with you. My name is Ben, and we'll be going over how to overcome isolation in less than 30 days as a stay-at-home dad. Let's jump in here. First, I want to ask you about why are you here? Are you here for a reason like you have trouble connecting with other adults, having trouble making friends, or have you become isolated because of your circumstances, or just maybe whatever internal struggles you have? Whatever the reason that you're here is, and there is one because you chose to join me here on the workshop, I want to thank you for joining me and tell you that I'm excited to go through this with you. I'm going to keep it to 15 minutes or less, so I've got a timer going. I know your time is valuable and you've got family and business and home to take care of, so I won't keep you for long. But thanks for joining me here. Let's jump in. Today, what we're going to cover is how to overcome isolation in less than 30 days, 3 ways you can do this easily, and how to overcome the challenges you're going to face. What your life could look like if you do overcome isolation. And at the end, I'll share with you an online community that can help you get started today. So a quick introduction. My name is Ben Dantman. I've been a stay-at-home dad for 4 years. We live in Costa Rica. My wife works for a hotel, and it's given us the opportunity to move from Philadelphia to the San Diego area to Chicago, and now overseas here to Costa Rica. We've got a almost 4-year-old daughter named Grace. We've got a boy due next year, and I was miserable my first year as a stay-at-home dad. We did it mostly for financial reasons. That's what led to our decision for me to stay home with our daughter at the time. But I really struggled. I felt like I wish I was doing something else. I enjoyed having that time with my daughter and to bond with her and see all the milestones that she was moving through. But I also had this wish that I could really be doing something else. And I searched for outlets in a lot of different ways. One day, my wife said to me, Ben, if you're so miserable, why don't you do something about it? And that was a turning point for me. So I started to try to figure out, why wasn't I happy being at home with my daughter, this opportunity of a lifetime? Well, I realized I hadn't embraced my role as a stay-at-home dad. So that was the turning point. And a friend helped guide me through this too. I had to embrace that role and realize it was an opportunity and not a burden. And everything shifted for me then. But I still struggled with isolation. I still didn't have a group of people that I really connected with and could see regularly. And I really struggled, especially then we moved to another country and a new community. And that isolation thing kept coming on over and over again. So that's something I've worked through, and I want to help you work through that as well. If you're struggling with isolation and being disconnected, then stay tuned for the next 13, 14 minutes now, and I'll help you work through that. Now I help other stay-at-home dads seize their opportunity to build a family legacy, and at the end I'll share with you about a community for stay-at-home dads that helps them face all the challenges that they face. Question for you. What is the one thing you must do to overcome isolation? And I believe there is only one. Is it to start going to local meetups, or to join a Facebook group for stay-at-home dads, or maybe to go to Home Dad Con? No. Those might be a means to finding this, but the solution to isolation is to find your inner circle. That's the one thing you must do. Find your inner circle. What's an inner circle? Well, an inner circle is a group of 1 to 5 men who you trust completely, number one. Number two, you can be totally honest with, and it's easier to do that because you trust them. Number three is have your best interest in mind. Number four, you have a meaningful conversation with at least once a month. So who's an inner circle, or what is an inner circle? It's a small group of men who you trust completely, you can be honest with, who have your best interests in mind, and who you have a meaningful conversation with at least monthly. Now, why is an inner circle the solution to isolation? Well, if no one really knows what's going on with you, you're still going to be isolated. So you can be plugged into a big community or online group or real life group, But if you don't have an inner circle within that community, you can still be isolated because no one's really going to know what's going on with you. You need to have men who you can get real with, and you need men who you can call whenever you're stuck or overwhelmed or don't know what to do, and who you know have your best interest in mind to help you work through that. You also need men who are going to spur you on to being your best self through accountability and encouragement. Now, if you do find your inner circle, how could your life change? Well, you always have someone to call when you're stuck, overwhelmed, or don't know what to do. Number two, you'll excel in areas where you are falling behind or being lazy. You'll gain a new fire for being your best for your family, and you'll be propelled to greatness as a man and as a father, not to mention as a stay at home dad. And I'm sure you've experienced this before, some kind of achievement that you had or success that you achieved through being part of a group, and it was far greater than you would have achieved on your own. Think back to a time like that. You could accomplish so much more with this group than would have been able to on your own. Now, you know you need an inner circle, you know the benefits of it, but how do you find your inner circle? Well, we covered these options before. Meetup groups. You might find an inner circle through a meetup group, but a meetup group isn't an inner circle. A Facebook group is not an inner circle. Home Dad Con is not an inner circle. So to find an inner circle, you have two options, I believe. One is to start one yourself, and let's cover that. You could find 5 men you know and ask them to join your inner circle, commit to meeting at least once a week or every 2 weeks, and stick to the same time and place so that it's easy to remember when you're meeting up. Follow a plan of topics to cover in order to spur each other on. But there's challenges with that, aren't there? Does that sound easy? Or does it sound like it might be a little challenging to actually accomplish that? Because you're going to have time away from your family every time you meet with them. It can get expensive with transportation. If you're going out to a restaurant or bar or something, there's food and drinks and even lost time at work or um, some kind of business you have if you have that going on. And it's hard to stick with, especially when seasons change and maybe your kid's school schedule changes or holidays or you're on vacation. You can't continue meeting during those times. And you might even face lack of encouragement or even discouragement from your family if it seems like this is just some sort of outlet for you, or you're looking for an escape or a way to get out of time with your family. You're going to face discouragement. So there are challenges with starting your own time away from family, the expense of it. It's hard to stick with when your schedule changes, and then lack of encouragement from your family. So you might be thinking, Ben, that sounds hard. I thought you said you were going to show me how to overcome isolation in 30 days, how it would be easy, and how I could start today. Well, there is another option or an alternative to starting your own inner circle. So before we dive into that, I want to make sure you're committed to finding it. Make the decision today to find your inner circle. If you want to overcome isolation, commit to doing that by finding your inner circle. So you've made that decision? Great. There's good news and bad news about that decision. The bad news first. Starting your own inner circle is hard. So we went over all the reasons why. But there is good news. There's an easy button. Makes it so simple to find your inner circle. And that's by joining one that's already out there just waiting for you to find them. Instead of starting your own, join an existing one. And this is where I want to tell you about the easy way to do this. It's through the Legacy Men online community for stay-at-home dads. Join us today, and you'll overcome isolation by this time next month without the challenges that come with starting your own inner circle. The Legacy Men online community is your inner circle that really knows what's going on with you, so you'll no longer be isolated. You'll find men here who you can get real with. You'll find men in the community that you can call whenever you're stuck or overwhelmed or don't know what to do and who have your best interest in mind. You'll find men here who will spur you on to be your best self through accountability and encouragement. But how does it work? Well, I'll lay it out for you. It's an online community, but we're going to meet face to face through video calls. So instead of taking time away from your family to go out with the guys, you can meet easily from your home during nap time or from the car or get up early in the morning before your family's up. You're going to easily find an inner circle that's meeting around your schedule. So you don't have to change your schedule. Find one that's meeting around your schedule and join them, and you'll be able to meet through weekly online video calls. And instead of being difficult to stick with this during different seasons when you're traveling on vacation or holidays or school schedules changing, it's easy to meet through online video calls because you can do this with your phone, a tablet, a computer, wherever you are, and whatever else is going on in your life. And instead of facing lack of encouragement or discouragement from your family, you're not going to be taking much time away from your family. So your family will support you because they'll see you becoming a better stay-at-home dad, better husband, partner, father, without sacrificing that family time. And instead of this being expensive and having those expenses of food and drinks of going out or transportation or lost time at work or business, the Legacy Men online community is free for the first month. So you can dive in and test it out and see if it's really for you for free. After the first month, it's $35 a month. If you're ready to join, go to join.legacymen.co. You can sign up there, and that will be super simple. It just takes about 10 seconds to join. And as soon as you join, I'll tell you what will happen next. Number one, you'll get a message from your guide who will connect with you one-on-one and help you create a roadmap for overcoming isolation within 30 days. Number two, you'll join your inner circle, so find one that's meeting around your schedule, and you'll start meeting with them weekly. Then number three, if you ever get stuck or have something to celebrate, or have a question, you can have 24/7 access to the online community. So there's going to be a mobile-friendly website, a downloadable app, and it's really easy to connect with the other guys. It's also off of Facebook, so there aren't all those distractions. It's super easy to log in and connect with other guys in your inner circle through chat messages, through setting up other video calls if you want to connect one-on-one on that way, through simple posts within the online community. And then the key is these weekly video calls, but you can keep the conversation going in between those through the online website. My promise to you is that if you commit to meeting with your guide and then your inner circle each week, you will overcome isolation in 30 days. And here are some of the benefits that you can experience. You'll get clear on your priorities, and decision making will become easier. Number two, you're going to gain the trust and support of your spouse or your partner. Number three, you'll seize your opportunity to build a lifetime bond with your kids and build a family legacy that's going to last for generations. Now, you might be thinking about the risks or the costs involved. Well, let me remind you to join the Legacy Men community today. You can do it at join.legacymen.co, and there's no risk. You have a month to dive in. I believe that you will experience a transformation and you won't want to leave after that first free month. But if you do, it's okay. You can do that. After the trial ends, it's $35 a month, but there's no long-term commitment, so you can leave anytime. So there's no risk to joining, but there is a huge risk to not finding your inner circle. If you don't find that inner circle, you'll be stuck without a group to propel you to do better. You'll continue to feel frustrated that you're not doing your best. And most importantly, you could waste this once in a lifetime opportunity as a stay-at-home dad that we all have to build this bond with our kids and to be the father and leader that our families need us to be. So I encourage you to sign up now at join.legacymen.co. But you do have a choice. You can decide now to go it alone or hit the easy button and join Legacy Men today. I hope you'll join us. Now, one option I want to give you here, if you feel like joining the community is not something that's enough for you, you really have a lot of struggles that a community isn't going to help you with, and you need one-on-one coaching, I do offer that. Normally it's $3,000, but for $500, because you're here on this workshop, you can join me for a 3-month coaching. And we'll have 3 calls a month, 45 minutes each call, for a total of 9 calls over 3 months, one-on-one. And I'm going to help you get clear on what's challenging you, what your hurdles are, what success looks like to you over those 3 months, and I'll get you there. We'll overcome isolation, and I'll help you figure out how to do that. We'll get very clear on simple actions you can take and how to make steady progress over those 3 months. So I hope you join us at join.legacymen.co. But if you need more one-on-one kind of direct coaching, somebody to really guide you and take you by the hand, I can do that. If you're on the workshop online, I will put up the link for that. But you can also go to legacymen.co and you will see a link for coaching. Just click on that link and then use the coupon code COACH500 and it's only $500. And then the last option, if you're not sure which way to go, if you still have questions, or you're not sure if this is right for you or not, book a call with me. I'll be happy to spend 45 minutes with you or less if you don't need that much time to answer any questions you have. And it wouldn't be a sales call, it would be a service call. I'll serve you on the call. If you have just some struggles, you really just need somebody to have a conversation with, I'd be happy to do that. Or if you have questions about the community or the coaching, I'd love to answer any questions you have. So I'd love to serve you in that way. Go to legacymen.co and click on the button to book a call with Ben, and I'd be happy to set that one-on-one call up with you. So thanks for going through the workshop. Again, commit to finding that inner circle, and I hope you join us in the community. Join.legacymen.co. I'd love to see you in there.